Yo, what's good? Welcome to another episode of the Larry Ohh Show. We have a very special episode today because we're not in the same location that we're normally at. We had some scheduling issues. I was sick last week, but nonetheless, my co-host is here in the home studio.
In the stew, cooking up heat.
We're here. Yeah, I guess this is another episode of Larry Ohh Show. We're in the home studio. This is my house, my home studio, by the way. You've probably seen a bunch of videos from here with this backdrop, same location.
Yeah, it's cool to be in the space. I've seen.
Yeah, this is your first time here.
Yeah, and like those of you at home, Larry's got a lake, which is fire.
I wish I could turn the camera on without messing everything up, but like this window right here overlooks.
Yeah, we just spent an hour trying to set it up. Here you go.
Yeah, the whole point of when I wanted to do this podcast, I was like, all right, let's find a place to do it.
Yeah.
Where I don't have to do any work. So today, that shit went all the way down the tubes.
Work less.
Yeah.
But we're showing up, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I think it was important that like we do something, you know what I mean? That was the biggest part, was that we get an episode out for people.
Yeah, exactly.
And people will be a part of the journey, you know?
Yeah.
So this is like what, episode, maybe not even 30 yet. Probably
18?
10, 20.
This episode?
Yeah, probably like 20.
18, I think this one is.
Dang.
Yeah.
So
18.
People along for the ride.
Yeah, man.
It's the big part.
It's been a fun journey with this podcast. It feels like, I don't know, I know that we haven't been doing it that long, but at the same time, it feels like we've been doing it for a while. You know what I'm saying? Because it's every week. We haven't missed. I mean, the only one that you missed was because I was at NAMM.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the only time you ever missed one.
Right.
And I haven't missed a week posting wise. So they've been consistent every single week, which is what I wanted to do from the top of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's been fun. We're going to keep this going for as long as humanly possible. Before we get into the episode, I wanted to mention in this episode, like all the previous episodes, we're doing a giveaway, massive giveaway, still giving away my entire course catalog for those of you that don't know, that aren't familiar with it. Also in this episode, we're going to be announcing the 5 winners from last week's episode. 5 winners, we're going to be winning a copy or copies of every single one of my FL Studio and production courses. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for the keyword to enter this week's giveaway.
That's right.
I mean, yeah, with that being said, we can kind of just like hop into it. We got the setup here, so we can hop into some like hidden gems and stuff. But I know you were mentioning some like quick verses stuff that you had going, some quick ideas that you had that were really interesting.
I mean, one thing that I thought came up last week was like comping vocals. And I think some people kind of got into it in the comments, just being like, oh, well, you know, comping's the lazy way to do it. You're making it soulless by like putting stuff together. I like to do it all in one take. And my whole thing is like, do as much of it in one take as you can. But the point of comping is that when you do mess it up, because let's face it, you're gonna mess it up. Or when it's just like, oh, I could have done that a little better. At least you have a third, fourth take to pull from and splice it in. That's all comping is. And also comping is like lining your vocals up if you're stacking. So when people were getting into it about this whole thing about like what's better to punch in, what's better to comp, it's all of it.
Yeah.
Do all of it.
Do all of it. Do whatever makes you comfortable and makes the best end result. Because I think when you were mentioning that, I kind of get like two sides of the argument, right? Because people are saying, well, the one thing that I didn't understand was somebody said it's the soulless way. I don't understand how that's the soulless way. Because when you're in a recording studio, you have different options, you have different tools at hand.
Right.
Obviously, you don't want to this is where I get into the thing where you don't want to make it sound to the point where like when you go play it live, it sounds like you can't do it like that. I understand that aspect of it, and I get making it sound like so not you because you've done so much pre-post production, right? That you have a vocal when you go live that you can't perform because maybe you don't have enough breath control for it. It's just not humanly possible to do. You have a lot of background vocal. I get it. I get that side of it. But why not use all the tools and all the knowledge and all these techniques that are at hand?
It's a lot of it is ego driven, and a lot of times like people create from like, and creating is a vulnerable practice, you know what I'm saying? And you create from a place of like ego in the sense that you're creating something that is at the center, it is you. And so a lot of people will kind of create and be like, I need to do it all in one take, or it needs to be done this certain way in order for it to be the true like
Yeah.
you know, I'm really him. I can
That's
really
what it
do
is.
that. Yeah.
That's what it is. A lot of times when I was recording people in the studio, it would be that.
And then
like,
they'd
bro,
be
like, just punch in. Nah, I gotta get it in one take. I gotta get it in one. Why do you have to get it in one take? Why?
What I would rather do is I would rather get that one line that really matters to hit the right way every single time you play the song.
Of course.
Back.
And is it and I would ask that question sometimes if I felt comfortable and I didn't feel like, you know, just like I'm starting an argument, you know, like 'cause I wasn't trying to start an argument with people, but I'd be like, why do you like sincerely, like, why do you need to get it in one take? Why is it because you just want to tell people that you got it in one take?
That's it.
Or is it because you think you can perform the best in one take? Because I guarantee you it's not number 2.
No.
It's number 1. You want to tell people, I got this in one take, bro.
Right.
Like, people don't really care. Listeners don't care that you got it in one take. What they care about is does it hit?
Sidebar.
Yeah.
So back in the day, right? This is a little hidden knowledge, right? So like you recorded French Montana when he came to Providence, right?
Yeah, once, yeah.
Did he like take it all in one?
No.
Did he punch?
He definitely punched in because I think he was writing while he was in the studio too, because it was a feature, like a paid feature. Somebody, he was in Providence, and he probably, you know, sends feelers out there, or whoever knows he's coming into town wants features.
Yep.
Somebody got in contact with him, and it was just happened to be somebody that I recorded in the studio all the time anyway. So he's like, yo, are you available tonight? French Montana's coming through, blah, blah, blah. I'm paying him for a feature. He's coming by. At that point, like, he doesn't really know beforehand that he's doing it. It's kind of like on the fly type of thing.
So he was writing in the studio.
He was writing in the studio. So he was definitely doing it line by line.
Yeah.
But I think that's how he normally does it anyway.
Right. Yeah. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Because it's always interesting to kind of hear about like what people's process is. And like, I think that, again, when it comes to the comping stuff, it's literally just a tool, you know, and when it comes to recording, it's good to just get it all out there and splice it in and out as needed. You know what I mean? Like you'll find just slight little differences between each take. And when you splice it together, using, you know, comping as a tool, using generic bleeding to kind of blend things together. And if you're good enough to do the take consistently enough, like tone-wise, to where you can Frankenstein it together. That's what I really meant with that, you know, retort to that dude was like, you're not good enough if you think it lacks soul, is because your takes probably don't sound good enough.
If anything, you can add more soul to it because you can really hone in on what you're doing.
Correct. Yeah.
You can add more soul to the vocal take.
Right.
But
another thing about like kind of punching it in or as opposed to like rehearsing it over and over again is a lot of the emotion that you capture that first time you're doing it through, because like it's still kind of a surprise to you, is going to be you're not going to be able to capture that in a well rehearsed verse. Yeah. The way that you perform a song when you know the verses when you don't, you're going to get more. You're going to get a different quality between both. You know what I'm saying? So there's benefits to both, but I just thought it was cool that we had people kind of divided in the comments.
Yep. It's cool to see that, like, a lot of people have been doing it that way. And a lot of people were also saying, like, yo, I love these tips and all this stuff. It's just, like, reassuring to know that I'm kind of, like, on the right track. I'm doing the right thing. I've seen, like... Especially over the last week, a lot of those comments, good handful. Yeah,
people doing the same thing but not realizing it is kind of like the trend.
Yep. We had you mentioned some verses. Speaking of verses, you had a couple of cool verses topics.
Yeah,
you want to
let me see,
throw them out there.
All right, what about piano roll versus playing it on MIDI?
Oh, piano roll.
Piano roll.
Yeah, if I had to choose one, because I'm not that great of a keyboard player at all. I can come up with some ideas, but I cannot play like a whole thing. I can't. I'm better with lead stuff than I am with chord stuff. Right. I can figure out kind of like, you know, put together what key I'm in and what notes are in that scale without really, like, I don't know music theory like that, but I'll just kind of figure out, like, I'll look at what I'm doing, what I got going on chord wise in the piano roll already, MIDI wise, and like, all right, I'm using these keys, you know, F sharp, A, C sharp, you know, whatever. So I'm like, all right, so I know those are my notes, and I'll play those leads. I'll do some cool leads on there, and I might keep the recording of it. But if I had to choose one, it would be piano roll. I'm just so used to that. That's how I started out. I didn't have any MIDI controller at all starting out. It was just like the closest thing I had to a MIDI controller was my actual typing keyboard.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would type out melodies on that. I'm better at making chords on the keyboard, the computer keyboard, than I am on a regular MIDI controller.
Those early Young Chop on the beat,
Yeah,
like
bro.
his early stuff was all from the keyboard, like type to chord or whatever.
Yep. Bro, I love that. I still to this day, I'll turn on type to keyboard and I'll just bang out some quick triad chords on there because I'm doing it for so long. I'm so used to like I know what keys are what on there. It's weird, but I
kind of adjacent to that is like, and this isn't a verses, but we'll jump back into the verses. But one thing that if you find yourself like kind of finessing like stuff while you're playing like MIDI in, a hidden gem, a quick gem is that dump score to pattern.
Oh, that's
that's a good one. That dump score is so crazy.
Dump score. So yeah, for those of you that don't know about it,
pull it up.
Yeah, we can pull it up. So you're talking if you've just been like jamming out, right?
Jamming, you're up.
Yeah. So if you're just kind of jamming out, let me see. I gotta turn on type to keyboard actually. Say we got. And then you would go options, no tools, dump score, last 2 minutes. So you'd go last 2 minutes probably because I haven't been doing much in this session. And then you would, the current pattern isn't empty. It would put it in this pattern or you could merge it, you could replace it.
I usually just make a new pattern and put it,
Yep, so it
on the timeline
literally what
somewhere.
I just played is there because that's the only thing that I've played in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That's huge right there, bro. Because there's been times where you specifically, because you're a jammer. Like I remember being in the studio, doing that stuff for like you'd be just sitting there like just jamming for a good like 20, 30 minutes, not recording anything.
So once I found that out, I was just like that took out a lot of the thing of like, oh, I wish I was recording that.
Yeah.
Well, you are, and what you can do is if you put like a empty cell block at the beginning of the pattern and then press that like last 2 minute dump, then it'll line up to roughly where it was.
Oh, okay, so you don't have to go crazy trying to figure out where in the song you wanted it.
Yeah, and if you know that the melody you were playing like starts on the one, then you just find that note on the one and line it up, the way that
That's
you want.
awesome.
And it keeps, what's great about that is
and you have all the way up to 30 minutes.
Yeah, and what's great is it keeps the feel. So if it's a little off beat, then and it felt good, then that's fine. And then also it keeps the velocity too.
Yeah.
So you ain't got to worry about like, fuck, it's all like uniform velocity.
Yep.
It's in there.
If you have a MIDI, if you're using a MIDI controller.
If you have a MIDI,
because notice that I just did it on the keyboard.
All
It doesn't.
one.
Obviously, it's not going to get the velocity through the computer keyboard. But if you're using a MIDI controller, it'll record and remember all that velocity stuff.
So,
even if you have the pitch wheel stuff going on, if you're doing that kind of fancy junk.
So this is a tip for all you jammers out there.
Yeah.
Use that.
You jam me.
You jam.
Yeah, that's awesome. How about I got a verses for you. All right, all right, so I don't even know how to phrase this, but so when you're creating, obviously you're creating in MIDI, right? So most of the time.
Yeah.
So if you're creating patterns, right? So, since we're on this topic, now all right, final product, are you leaving everything in MIDI or are you making things audio? What's the process there? Do you find yourself leaving MIDI, or is it like when you get a certain idea, maybe you convert it to audio, or are you like instantly converting MIDI to audio so you can get into that like mindset of just like, so I guess the verses is MIDI or versus audio.
I always like audio, just because it's more fun to work with, and you can kind of like, to me personally, I can do a little bit more with like hard cuts and things like that. Also, a little hack for all my people that are like using like demo versions of the VSTs and stuff. We've all been there. You can go ahead and print your MIDI. Once you get the pattern to kind of like the way that you want it, you can go ahead and print it and work with it that way. Because if you have the demo version, once you exit that session and try to come back, it's gonna like not load. It won't even save the pattern. The pattern won't even be in there, and it'll just be like, oh my god, everything I just made. But if you print it to audio, So me, I'm an audio guy. I
used to be afraid
samples.
of that for some reason. I don't know what it was, bro.
Well, what I would do is I would just like I would just get it to like its raw form. I wouldn't even worry about like if it sounds good the way that it is here, and like maybe just gain stage it a bit. Then like anything that is printed to audio, like you can basically work with.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm a sample guy. Like I'll mess around with the MIDI, but in the end, I like audio.
I'm probably
samples.
50-50 on that. There's a lot of times, like, in this beat, I'll guarantee you nothing's really audio besides this, like, vocal sample that I brought in recently. But, yeah, I left all those MIDI right there. I just left the MIDI. I don't know. That's what happened in that process. I liked how it sounded. I could probably flip it into something even crazier if I put it into audio. But, like I said, back in the day, I used to be so nervous. I don't know that I would like lose my idea, or you know what it was, me like not being able to just like commit to a certain melody that I created MIDI wise, and thinking that I'm always gonna have to go back and tweak it. So like if in my mind, if I converted it to audio, that was it.
Yeah,
and that like made me nervous about that and not having that capability on going back, and or just like obviously I could have just like saved the MIDI. It would just have been an extra step if I wanted to change something. But I just never liked to do that back in the day, but now what I realized is audio is so much better to work with in a lot of cases because you can do so many different things to the audio. You can create something that sounds not even that great with MIDI. And then instead of forcing that MIDI into something that it's not right now, you can convert it to audio and flip it into something that you would have never flipped it into because of all the capabilities, all the tools, all the techniques that we've learned over the years.
Right.
You could turn it into something so crazy with audio.
Stretch, like I stretch a lot of samples, like I slow them down, speed them up, like just basically like warp them in any way that I see fit. And since it's mostly just based on like feel, like how the frequencies sit together, you can only really do that with audio samples. Like MIDI, you don't have that same level of control over like how weird you how weird you want to get it, you know?
Yep. There's only you'll hit a ceiling with that, for sure.
Oh, I wanted to. This is kind of like jumping from topic to topic. We kind of on the joint, but one thing I wanted to go over was like multi-track recording in FL Studio. I did this the other day for the first time in a while, where I was recording guitar and mic at the same time.
Okay. What, acoustic guitar?
Electric. So I lined it into my audio box, and then
Just
I
like
had
a
my
microphone,
microphone going. Yep. And then I had, and then obviously in the mixer tracks, you have the inserts, and you just arm both of them, and you can simultaneously record into the timeline. And I just think like I hadn't done that in so long, and I was like, oh, that would be kind of cool to talk about on the podcast. Where it's
I love
like,
doing that. I used to look for a reason to do that.
Yeah.
So much so that I was looking for bands to record because I was in a band, right? So I wanted to try. At first, I wanted to just like try recording my own stuff, and then I bought like a set of drum mics, like a cheap set of drum mics. So I had the whole Snake, the whole XLR block. I don't even know what you call it, but it's like a block with like 20 XLR inputs on it. Yeah. So you plug everything in, and then you send one of those to the computer, or like it has a whole bunch of different XLRs that go into a big interface if you have it. So it becomes a mess, but it's awesome. So I used to do that in FL Studio, and I recorded a couple of bands, my own too, that way. Recorded the drums, mic'd them up, and then multi-track, just setting them all to record and hitting record all at once. It gets to be a lot. If it's something that you're not used to. When you see those tracks coming through, there's a lot that could go wrong. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of editing to do afterwards, especially with drums, like real acoustic drums. So it's another beast, but it's so much fun.
What I found was beneficial to what I was doing with the recording the vocals and the guitar at the same time is you perform the vocals and the guitar like you're playing it live. So like there's little nuances in how you strum, and then also how you perform the vocals that like if you were to just like play the guitar, then overdub the vocals on top, it would just come out totally different and almost like not authentic to like what you wanted it to be. You know what I mean?
You'll definitely perform it a different way if you just record the guitar by itself and then record the vocals on top of the guitar versus you performing them both in one. You know what else I used to do? Speaking of like multi-track recording with guitars, I've done a bunch of acoustic recordings with some like different kinds of artists. Like I remember this one dude specifically where we set up like two different microphones for it. Like one, I think, on the fret for the fingers, for the hand, for the the movements and all that stuff. You get the noises coming through there, and then another one with on the body of the acoustic.
Yes, sir.
And then there's some of them that you used to have. Didn't you used to have one that was an electric acoustic that you could plug in?
Yep.
We did that. I remember we did that too. We mixed those signals. I think me and you did that.
Yeah.
Where we plugged it in
Parallel blend them together.
and then mic'd it.
Yeah.
So it's a regular acoustic guitar. It sounds the same, but it has an input and output on it. So you plug it in like any other instrument. And I remember mixing those signals with that one.
Yeah.
Just multi-recording on one instrument is awesome too.
Yeah.
I've even seen it done on vocals where they'll set multiple microphones up side by side or top to bottom like this.
Yeah.
And blend those two signals together.
I saw this dude the other day that had he had the microphone in front of him, and then he had another one to his side, and I don't know what that would do, but I just thought it was so cool. Yeah,
you'll get a thinner vocal with less bass and low end in that one. You'll get a lot of low end. The closer you are, the more low end you get. So he's gonna get the low end from that close one, and the highs and the mids and high mids from that further one.
I was like, that's cool. That's the kind of stuff that I see, and I'm just like, I want to record now. I want to record.
Right?
When I see something like that, it's like how some people will like watch a gym video and be like, I want to go to the gym. It's the same thing where I'm like, I gotta try that.
I'm like that with cook-up videos, bro.
Cook-up
videos. I'm like, I got 2 minutes into a Lollipop Beats video the other day, and I was like, all right, I have to cook up.
Yeah.
It sucks because I'm like, I want to watch this video, but I just get that instinct, like, yo, I gotta cook up right now.
I'll put it on pause, make my beat, come back to it, and then watch it for another 2 minutes and go back into the session again. Again and again on loop.
That's good though, man. That's what the community is about. The inspiration is massive out here right now. Lollipop Beats is killing it. I don't know if you saw her.
She's out here, yeah. She's wild.
I think she went back already, but she was out.
Oh, I just mean out here.
Oh, yeah. No, but she was out here, though, like in the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah, she went to L.A., I think, in Atlanta. She posted a vlog or two recently. Mm-hmm. She's killing it. It's awesome to see
absolutely.
it.
Shouts out Lauren, yo.
Hell yeah. We got to get another guest on soon.
For sure.
I've been thinking about it recently. I've been like slacking on reaching out to guests. So I know it'll be like easy. I haven't done it time wise.
I think it would be crazy to like have I mentioned this briefly with you, but like people who are kind of like in the music world, but not necessarily producers. Like one thing that I thought would just be crazy is like having a music psychologist or something on to kind of like break down like certain vibes.
Yep.
Like show them like a TM-88 beat and be like, wow, this is really like it would be so cool.
Or like plugin developers or
I
really wanted the dude that created a bunch of the Flex stuff.
Yeah.
We got to he's on the list. I'm gonna get him
for sure.
Ryan or Brian, I can't remember his first name. I apologize, but I met him at NAMM. He created the chill lo-fi preset and the hyperpop.
Yeah,
not preset. The packs inside of Flex.
So if you guys listen and have any ideas for who should be on, tap into the comments.
Let us know.
That being said, it might be an opportunity to tap in with that key phrase.
I was just thinking the same thing. Yeah, we'll do the key phrase. You want to do it?
Sure, yeah.
All right, go for it.
The phrase of the week is Starbucks. Get you some.
Sponsor the video, Starbucks.
Yeah, please. We need it. We need it.
Tracks. All right, yeah, so you heard it. Starbucks is the keyword this week. Drop it down in the comments. Next week, we're going to be picking 5 winners for this week's episode to win every single one of my FL Studio and music production courses. Stay tuned later in this podcast. We're going to be announcing the 5 winners from last week. We'll do that in a few.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I mean, we got the computer set up. You got any gems you want to drop? Maybe we can hop into some gems. Like you got into like
this was a quick like accidental gem that I discovered the other day was the if you need to like fly over to like one section of the beat. I accidentally found this out was if you hold down shift and the right button on your mouse. This is a mouse gem.
You want to try it?
Sure.
You can move the mic. You can just go for it.
Get it out.
So
if you're up in a session and you want to like scroll over, by the way.
Shit, hold on. Oh no, it's still recording. You're good. My bad.
You can hold down shift and the right button, right click button on your mouse, and you can fly to different sections of the beat.
Oh, you want me to one up you right now? You don't have to do that. You don't have to hold shift. You can hold shift. This is why it's so crazy, bro. There's so many. I didn't even know that way. I didn't know that you could do it that way. The way I've been doing that.
Different workarounds.
The way I've been doing that all these years is just press and hold the mouse button, the wheel. Like, you know how it has a button?
Oh,
you know,
okay,
a lot of them have buttons. Mm-hmm. Just click the button and drag around.
And then there's this thing. I don't know if yours has this feature, but like mine, I have what's the one? this company called?
Razer.
Razer. I have a Razer mouse, and just like this one, but it like you can navigate. You can navigate left and right with the mouse wheel on mine. Like you can
the button moves left and right.
Yeah, but it like flies. It doesn't like the sensitivity.
I don't know
is
if
so
that
high.
one does the left and right. Try it.
This one doesn't.
No, I know what you're talking about though. This could get us into some mouse gems because there was an episode where I mentioned it and we never did it.
Yeah.
So we could do some more mouse gems. Check out another one on the mouse, right? If you go into the blank space up in the gray, just anywhere in the gray, click the mouse button wheel, the scroll wheel.
Oh, and you can flip between.
No, click the mouse wheel. Oh, look at that! Brings up the plugin list.
Look at all this.
Brings up that entire giant list of plugins that.
And you can right click out of it.
Yep, you right click out of it, or you can go in there and you can just start typing. So just start typing like, say I want Patcher, boom, and then I can hit enter. And I think it's going to open it. I think it opened it down below. Or you could just click on it from there, and it'll open it.
Get you some mouse gems.
Some mouse gems. You know what else is another good one, too? Is, like the whole zoom thing. So if you hold control and scroll the mouse wheel up and down, it's going to zoom horizontally. And then this is for the playlist. And then if you hold the Alt key, scroll up and down, it's going to zoom in vertically. Most of us know that one. Mm-hmm. There was another one, too, bro. Oh, you know what else is another really cool mouse gem? Is if any knob that you want to just like reset, you know, you can like right click it and hit reset. Mm-hmm. Or you can also, let me see real quick. I think this is just to make sure. There's a couple different ways. So like if you go, like let's say we're in here and we're on this 808 kick and we mess around with the boost and we mess around with some stereo delay. And then we want to just like reset these, but we're too lazy to go right click and hit reset. You could just click the mouse wheel again. No, just click the mouse button, the wheel again. Mm-hmm. That wheel button is crazy. Yeah. Bro. If you have it. If you don't have it, hold Alt and left click. So if you hold Alt and left click, it'll also reset, just as if you're hitting the reset button there. So you can right click, hit reset, or you can click the mouse wheel, click the button inside the mouse wheel, or you can hold Alt and left click, and it'll also reset anything. And that's any parameter inside FL Studio that's stock. It's not going to work for third-party plugins. It'll only work for FL Studio stock, but literally anything that has a knob on it, it'll work for.
I like this little one right here, where if you right-click and scroll through that middle joint, you can adjust to different tools.
That's fire.
That's a good one. Just like,
You know what? I never utilize that, though, because I feel like I'm just not used to it.
Yeah.
I'm not used to it. I use my couple of go-tos. If you have type to keyboard off, right? This isn't a mouse trick, but since we're on the topic of it,
mouse gems, dude.
My default is always the paintbrush tool. Mm-hmm. But like, let's say you have type to keyboard off. This is the only way this is gonna work. And I'm just gonna like cut or whatever. I go to C. I just hit the letter C. Because that's like all I'm really doing. I'm using the razor tool and the paintbrush
C or
tool.
B.
I'm C and then B. C and then B. Those are the quickest things.
In your sleep.
I love the scroll thing though.
Yeah.
I just don't use it. I love that. That's there though.
Right.
There's another one with numbers too. Like all of those tools up there have a letter assigned to them. And if you don't know the letters that are assigned to them, you just hover over it. You can see it up in the top. So the pencil is P. Paintbrush is B, delete is D, mute is T, slip is S, C, obviously, select is E, and left click. E and left click? No. I mean, maybe you can do it multiple different ways then. Because I could just like hold control, click, and drag and highlight. Mm-hmm. You don't need E for that. Magnify, zoom, and playback. That playback tool is pretty cool, and I don't utilize that enough. If you got chords going on, this is fire, bro. Let me put this mic down for a second. I gotta put this back on the stand, but I think keeping it right here would be cool for now. If you want to just like preview a chord, have you ever done this? Where you just hold Alt and right click. So that's a mouse gem.
Yeah.
So you can go through, like, you know why I love that? I have zero patience. Yep. So I'm like, is this chord gonna work? I go bing, 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 bing.
Yeah.
Then I can see if that chord works in that progression.
Right.
Whereas so I don't have to wait 2 or 4 bars for that chord to come in. And I'm like, all right, let's see if it works. All right, it doesn't work.
just put the BPM up to 1,000.
Yeah. Yo, you know what's crazy?
Through it.
You know Simon Servita. Speaking about BPM to 1,000, this dude created the best video I've seen in a long time for TikTok. He always creates such like, I don't know, like genius viral little videos for shorts and TikToks, bro. What he did, it'll be too much to bring it up. Maybe I could I'll do it in post-production and bring it up. But he starts a beat off in like 225 BPM.
Yep.
Hold on, I'm gonna just play it. I don't even care. I'm gonna play it because I need to see your reaction to this because it's this good. He hopefully I liked it. So it's I did. Look at this. So fire, bro. It sounds good like it is, but
Oh my goodness. Okay. Whew. That was tough.
now he brings it down from 225 to 143.
Mad funny.
Come on, that's such a
that
good
was
idea
elite.
for a video.
That was elite, bro.
Obviously-
that was S tier.
Obviously, that's
Simon
like
Servita S tier.
for real, bro. Obviously, that's rehearsed and he knows what he's doing beforehand. But such a good idea for a video.
So
dude.
good. Hell
Like
yeah.
that's a definition of like he's been doing content for a really long time, but that's like a definition. People are like, yo, how do I get my music out there? How do I get my beats out there? How do I get noticed? That's the kind of shit you get noticed for. You know what I mean? Like just doing. Like we're living in a content world where no matter what you do in any field of life, of work, your career, it doesn't matter what you're doing, you have to do some sort of content around it.
Correct,
If you want to
yeah.
start your own business, if you want to be a music producer, if you want to be an audio engineer, if you want to be a mix engineer, if you want to be an artist, you have to be making content.
Correct.
And there is so much content out there that you have to be making ridiculously good content to get it noticed.
Right. It's got to have a quality to it that is going to get, like, yeah, exactly. It's going to make you stand out.
Yeah.
And highlighting, like, what's unique to you is important to, like, you know, getting out there.
Yep.
So, with that being said, I think it's time to announce our winners now.
Yeah, we can do the winners.
Let's run that.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Because you got to get out of here soon.
Oh, yeah. I got a very important date.
With destiny.
With Destiny.
All right, let me see. Let me get to the video.
Get to the bottom of it.
Get to the chopper.
Shouts out to Simon Servita. That's some
So
S-tier
good, right?
content right there.
How
That's
good is that?
crazy. That's inspiring.
So good.
Wonderful. It's truly wonderful.
All right, last week's episode, the keyword was... Oh yeah, the keyword was Mighty Shucks.
Oh, that's right.
All right,
That's
so
right.
let's go. I'm going to go to all comments. All comments. And then, all right, so last week's keyword was Mighty Shucks. I'm going to be looking for 5 winners. Random scroll. And we got 1. This is GKAKAJ. I don't know how to say that, but GKAKAJ. Congratulations, you're number 1. Number two, Stone Miller Music. Number 2, congratulations. Number 3, Arnaud D. Do you know how to say that?
What? No.
All right, I'm going to spell it again.
That's
Here we
a
go.
lot.
Get ready. I might run out of time with this one.
Might run out of screen space.
ARNAUDNIEUWOUDT5211. You're winner number 3, right? That was winner number 3?
Yeah.
All right, winner number 4. Random scroll. And we are at Smiling Errors. Number 4. Congratulations. One more. 5th and final winner of this week's episode, or rather last week's episode.
Yeah.
Daw G. So DAW
Dog
G.
Dog.
Hey, dog.
Hey, dog.
Congratulations. If you heard your name, let me know in the comments. Also, to claim your prizes, the biggest thing, the biggest gem right here, to claim your prizes, I say it every week now, DM me on Instagram, and I will send you all the links to all the courses. But you got to reach out to me on Instagram. I don't have the time to go digging, unfortunately. So if you're listening and you heard your name, DM me on Instagram.
Pull up to the DMs.
Facts.
Report live to the DMs.
Yeah, how do you want to close it out, bro?
Well, I mean, it's just been a pleasure doing these episodes, and I'm stoked that we're able to do these and like get like the content and get the community going. I think that just the same way that other people are inspiring us with their videos, like we're boosting that vibration within the community, so that feels good.
Yep. It was like I said before, it's been a really, really good switch up for me. I've been loving it. Yeah. I've been looking forward to it every week. Trying to come up with ideas for it, brainstorming with you, coming up with different sets and just being able to do this like on the fly in different locations and spots too.
I think we should go live one of these weeks.
I would love to go live. Yeah, let us know in the comments if you want us to go live. Maybe we'll do something special for that live.
That would be sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think that'd be awesome. We were talking about going live today, but it'll be more. That means more work for me.
We'll make a little bit more time for it.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
But yeah, I think we can close it out. If you want to let people know where to follow you.
Yeah, check me out. ITS John Phelps on Instagram. TikTok is the big one. And yeah, that's it. That's it for me.
All right. And I'm Larry Ohh. Thanks for watching again. And if you haven't already, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and as always, share this with a friend if you get me.